After realizing I was the pathetic side character destined to spend my life chasing after the female lead, I decided I'd had enough. To make matters worse, I was currently filming a parenting reality show with my 7-year-old daughter. Every other dad on set had gotten up before dawn to prep artisanal breakfast bowls and turn their kids into tiny Olympians. Me? I'd gamed until 2 a.m., slept straight through to noon, and only surfaced because Kara Sinclair, my supposed daughter, had woken me up twice, once to tell me breakfast was ready, once for lunch. Somehow, our dysfunctional father-daughter duo became an overnight sensation online. The top comment read, "This poor child is raising her useless father at the age of 7. She's carrying this family on her tiny shoulders. I don't want your snacks. I don't want your milk. Leave me alone," Kara snapped, a doll pretty little girl with a voice sharp enough to give me a headache, and swatted the chips and milk box clean out of my hands. They hit the floor, and so, apparently, did the last wall in my brain, because that's when everything came flooding back. I wasn't just some deadbeat reality TV dad. I was the male lead's rival, the pathetic, love-drunk second male lead of a novel I'd apparently been dropped into. In the story, I'd clawed my way into the entertainment industry on nothing but a pretty face, latched onto the female lead, girl-boss CEO Aurora Sinclair, who already had a daughter, and married her. Less than 6 months later, she and the actual male lead, James Reed, realized they were soulmates and she asked me for a divorce. Kara Sinclair, in the book, became their adorable wingman, engineering the happy little family of 3. And me? Consumed by bitterness, I stalked the female lead, framed the male lead, abused the kid, and died a spectacularly ugly death. Learning all this at once made me want to sprint to a courthouse and file for divorce on the spot, get as far from all 3 of them as humanly possible. Except my TV wife had left the country on a business trip the day after our wedding and hadn't come back, and pre-awakening me had already signed Kara and myself up for this bonding show to build a father-daughter relationship. Backing out now meant a contract penalty steep enough to make bankruptcy look appealing. So, new plan. Coast through filming, collect my paycheck, get out clean. The kid who just knocked my snacks to the floor was, in fact, that very Kara Sinclair, a little porcelain doll with great black eyes, lashes for days, and a temper that matched her mother's exactly. She was only on this show because I'd begged her mom to let me bring her, insisting I wanted to bond. Aurora Sinclair, who'd married me purely to have someone else handle the parenting, had jumped at the excuse and basically ordered Kara to go along with it. Which meant this whole trip, she'd been giving me the cold shoulder while I, the old, unawakened me, fawned over her like a devoted servant, fetching water, checking on her every 5 minutes. New me had zero interest in keeping that up. Especially once I remembered that the second this ice princess routine met James Reed, she'd turn into the sweetest, most obedient little angel alive. Didn't matter if she was technically my daughter, I was fresh out of motivation to grovel. "Fine, don't want it, I won't bother you," I said, and calmly scooped every last snack back into the bag. Then, with great ceremony, I pulled out her favorite lime-flavored chips and started crunching away in front of her. Nothing in this world is hard, once you stop trying. Kara scoffed, clearly unconvinced that the sniveling love fool from before had actually changed. And fair, pre-awakening me had ridden entirely on his look straight into Aurora Sinclair's talent agency and then proceeded to do zero work, ditching set constantly just for a chance to run into her, infuriating everyone in the process. The livestream chat had torn him apart for it. When I reappeared on camera now, the comments lit up. "Oh great, the simp actually showed his face. Disgusting that this thing gets to breathe the same air as our idol. Does he even deserve to be near Kara?" someone wrote. Word is her background is seriously impressive. As for how a pretty boy nobody like him married up, well, we all know how that works. My past groveling had only made it worse. The comments called me a shameless leech with the thickest skin in showbiz. And because Kara had never once acknowledged me, except that one flare of temper, everyone praised her as the only sane person in the situation. I sighed internally. Do none of you see that I've turned over a new leaf? I grabbed a milk box, stabbed the straw in, and drank it myself without offering her a sip. Kara's little face scrunched in outrage. She'd clearly expected me to hand it over the second she looked disapproving, just like always. Her expression froze. She'd probably expected me to keep playing the role of the devoted father, eagerly handing her the milk while trying to earn points. After all, ever since we'd met, I'd spent every moment trying to please both her and her mother. But this time, I drank it myself. The livestream chat immediately lost its mind. What is wrong with this guy? Is he seriously playing hard to get, with a 7-year-old? No way. You're overthinking it. Soon, we arrived at the filming location, a remote countryside resort. The guests would be staying in a 3-story villa. Since the other participants hadn't arrived yet, Kara and I each claimed a sofa. She played with her doll. I played on my phone. And ate. I'd skipped breakfast earlier, so I was starving. After finishing the chips, and moved straight onto a bag of chicken feet, then dried fruit, then pistachios, I hadn't eaten breakfast, so I was making up for lost time. She kept sneaking glances at me, her expression darkening by the minute. Then I reached for the one bottle of her favorite yogurt drink in the snack bag, and she shot up off the couch like she'd been electrocuted. You ate everything. What am I supposed to eat? Oh no, Kara's been fooled, this pretty boy is going to be thrilled with himself, he'll for sure hand over everything now, the chat predicted. Kara will warm up to him in no time. Ugh, disappointing, someone else wrote. This guy's diabolical, tempting a 7-year-old like that, I'm 19 and even I couldn't resist. I twisted the straw into the yogurt drink. You said you didn't want anything of mine. But right now, I want your hand. You didn't want my snacks a minute ago, remember? Too late. You're the adult. I'm the kid. Can't you just let me have this one? I said. We're both new at being people, technically, why should I have to give in to you? Her face went red, pride refusing to let her back down. But I'm your daughter. You said that. That you'd treat me like your real daughter. That was before. Before what? Before I found out your mom and I are completely incompatible. She's never liked me, and I'm planning to divorce her. So pretty soon, you won't be my daughter anymore. You can't take that back. I'm calling my mom right now and telling her you want a divorce. Kids these days really are too smart. She'd seen me be pathetically devoted to her mother more times than I could count. There was even an incident where, desperate to see her mom one more time, I'd threatened to cut myself. So Kara assumed this divorce talk was just another bluff. I finished the yogurt drink in one go. She blinked, I nodded rapidly like yeah go ahead and tell her, she couldn't quite believe I'd answered that fast. Kara went quiet. So did the entire comment section, a rare silence, until someone finally broke it. Wait, is pretty boy not playing games here? Is he serious? Announcing a divorce on a family show? He's actually doing this? Is he finally coming to his senses about that marriage? Still, saying it in front of the kid is kind of messed up. He's just her stepdad anyway, and she clearly doesn't even like him, she'll probably be relieved. I could never like her either, honestly. That's when footsteps sounded outside, and the comment section exploded, but not about us anymore. All anyone cared about was, James Reed's here. Our idol has arrived, he's so handsome I want to die finally, my man screaming, crying, throwing up, pure chaos, over a tall, lean, impossibly clean-cut man who looked like he'd stepped out of a shampoo commercial. James Reed walked in with a huge backpack, dragging a giant suitcase in one hand and holding the hand of a 5-year-old in the other. He gave me a friendly nod, then carefully set the little girl down on the couch before unpacking. As the show's only single parent, his kid was a professionally cast civilian child actor named Zoe, pretty, sharp, and clearly a hit with the producers. He unzipped his bag, pulled out a whole pack of yogurt drinks, and walked straight over to Kara, who was still glaring daggers at me. Kara, I brought your favorite, he said warmly. The two of them were clearly already close, which didn't surprise me at all, this was exactly how the plot went. Before coming on this show, I'd been anonymously sent photos, James Reed getting into Aurora Sinclair's car, the two of them hugging. He was also signed to her company, one of the industry's top rising stars, and outside work, the two of them supposedly barely interacted. Seeing those photos out of nowhere had shaken me badly. And now, watching how easily he and Kara got along, a girl who was normally too shy to admit in public that she even liked yogurt drinks, old, unawakened me would have absolutely believed the affair theory on sight. That's exactly what happened in the book. I banned Kara from drinking anything he gave her, she rebelled harder the more I pushed, and the whole thing spiraled into a public mess that painted me as a controlling maniac. But I was awake now. So when James Reed turned to bond with Kara, I calmly stepped out of frame and went back to sipping my own yogurt drink and scrolling my phone. The chat gushed, wow, didn't expect James to be this gentle off camera. He saw the live stream on the way here, knew Kara wanted this, and came prepared, what a dream. Imagine if her stepdad was someone like him instead of that leech. Honestly, kind of shipping James and Kara as father-daughter, someone added. Wishing homewrecker energy on a married man in front of his actual wife's kid. Incredible. Somehow, no matter what Kara or James Reed did, the audience adored them and saved every ounce of hate for me. Fine. Lovefool. Simp. Whatever. I went back to my game, annoyed, only to feel a weight drop into my lap. James Reed had tossed the whole pack of yogurt drinks straight at me. Kara looked embarrassed to take it directly from him. Hold on to these for her, Give them to her later, he said, still smiling, voice as gentle as ever, though his eyes had gone noticeably cold. I looked at Kara, confused. She glared right back. This little troublemaker, why isn't she following the script? William, you're the grown-up here, don't go stealing a kid's snacks, that's not very mature of you. If you're really that hungry, just wait it out, buy your own once filming wraps. Well said, the chat agreed. This guy really will eat anything that isn't nailed down. Stealing food from a literal child, is he a pig? Why do you keep talking about that other guy? Go appreciate our James instead, isn't he lovely? I picked the yogurt drinks back up, decisive and brisk, and handed the whole pack straight to Kara. Here. All yours. When they're gone, just ask him again, I'm sure he'll happily buy more. James Reed's eyes actually lit up at that, and he reached over to pat Kara's head with real affection. Of course. Anytime you want one, sweetheart, just tell your uncle. I'll buy you as many as you want. I got up and headed outside. Can't beat M, might as well leave. There were no official tasks today, just arrivals and settling in. While the other parents busied themselves prepping meals, I spent the whole day gaming, and Kara spent it with James Reed and Zoe. By the time every guest had arrived, it was already night. Room assignments were drawn, me, Kara, and James Reed's group ended up in adjoining rooms, each with 2 beds. I gamed most of the evening, showered, then kept playing lying down. At 10:30, Kara came back to the room. Without looking up, I asked, "Why'd you come back?" According to the story, this was around when James Reed comforted a crying Kara with a pack of yogurt drinks, and she fell hard for the gentle male lead, practically dreaming of him as her real dad. But I hadn't caused any trouble today, hadn't forced her back to my side, she should have stayed with him. So why was she here? She didn't answer for a while. I glanced up and found her standing at the foot of my bed, fists clenched, glaring at me with a face that looked ready to cry. "Why didn't you come find me?" she demanded. "This is my bed. Why should I sleep somewhere else?" she shot back, eyes reddening though she fought to hold it together. "You used to never be like this. I played with Zoe all day, thinking you'd come find me, and instead you just sat there with your stupid game. And why did you let me drink a stranger's yogurt drink? Weren't you worried I'd get poisoned?" I said, half joking. He wouldn't go that far. But our teacher did say not to take things from strangers. Aren't you supposed to be my stepdad? You didn't even try to stop me. Some stepdad. I told you already. Until the divorce goes through, you still my stepdad. She huffed, spun around, and stomped off to shower, leaving me baffled. Why the sudden change of heart? Wasn't she supposed to hate having me as a stepdad? Felt like I'd missed something. I paused my game and pulled up the livestream replay. Turns out, she hadn't touched a single yogurt drink all day. She'd played with Zoe, sure, but clearly distracted the whole time. James Reed kept trying to chat with her, she barely responded. Every snack offered, untouched. Right before coming back, she'd returned the entire pack to him. "Thank you for the thought," she'd said, "but our teacher says kids shouldn't take things from strangers." James Reed's smile had frozen on camera. "Your mom and I are very, very good friends, sweetheart, not strangers. My mom says married women can't be very, very good friends with single men anymore. You two might have been that before, but now that she's married, you can only be regular friends, otherwise my stepdad will get upset, and if he's upset, my mom will get mad at me. So, thank you again for today." She'd given him a polite little bow. "I'm heading back to my room now." Whatever expression crossed his face after that must have been rough, because the cameraman had cut away before I could enjoy it. Still, her little speech had flipped the entire comment section. This kid has better values than half the adults on the show. I've had 10 years of tea spilled on me and I'm still not as sharp as a 7-year-old. I hadn't even known her mother's name until this show, but somehow I already loved this woman. Watching a side of Kara I'd never seen floored me too, though I was confused. Wasn't she supposed to only get along with James Reed, treating him like her real dad? So why the sudden reversal? Was it because I hadn't caused chaos this time, hadn't tried to sabotage things, and had actually encouraged her to spend time with him, that she'd rebelled against that instead? A rebellious phase at 7, apparently. The butterfly effect was already rewriting the story. Kara came back out of the shower in cream-colored pajamas, fresh-faced but visibly still annoyed, cheeks puffed out as she climbed into bed, shooting me a look that said you should be sorry. I couldn't help but laugh at her prickly little princess act. She lay down, back to me, and pulled the blanket over her head. I sighed, got up, grabbed a limited edition doll from my bag, and walked over. "Weren't you going to play with this before bed? Here, I brought it." She scoffed but grabbed it after a few seconds anyway. I sat down on the edge of her bed. "You've seen it yourself, your mom's always been distant with me. Even after the wedding, I was always the one trying. I'm tired of chasing someone who doesn't want to be caught. I just want to focus on work now, make some money. Even after your mom and I split up, I won't be your stepdad anymore, but, I hesitated. If you don't hate me, I'd still like to be your friend. When did I say I hated you? Her ears and cheeks went pink. I laughed. All right then. Friends it is. I patted the blanket over her legs. Deal. Go play, get some sleep when you're tired, I'm gonna go get a few more rounds in. She stared at me, thoroughly baffled by the whole exchange. I went back to my bed and picked up my phone. Friends, huh? 20 years later, Kara gets married, points to the gray-haired man in the front row, tells everyone, this is my childhood best friend. I nearly laughed out loud at the thought. Cameras blocked over here. I shouted, half joking, blocking my screen with a hand. Nighttime blocking was allowed even on a live stream. No, don't block it, we want to see, please, I want to stay up all night watching the cute one and the big dummy. Watching my viewer count keep climbing baffled me. Why weren't they all glued to their favorite idol James Reid instead of camping out in some C-lister's stream? And who's the big dummy supposed to be? My mom has no taste, I'm clearly the smart, self-aware one here. Ever since Kara came back, the comments had gotten noticeably more wholesome, at least. She sewed 2 new outfits for her doll, changed it, and started getting ready for bed. Aren't you going to sleep? Just this last round, I said, not looking up. Then one more. Then one more after that. To keep from disturbing her, I pulled the blanket over my head, but the phone screen fogged up from my breath and I couldn't see anything, so I poked a little hole through the fabric and kept playing. It's midnight already, why are you still up? I was right at a crucial moment and had zero intention of stopping. I stalled her, one more round, then bed, I promise. That's exactly what you said last time. Friend, come on, don't bug me, did I bug you this morning when you told me to leave you alone with your doll? We're supposed to have each other's backs. Your turn to leave me alone, go to sleep. But I wasn't staying up playing with a doll. Fair point, actually. Before I could fall back asleep, Kara was already back, shaking me awake for breakfast duty. Still asleep? Get up, the show doesn't provide meals today, just raw ingredients. We have to cook or we don't eat. I'd been up half the night gaming and overthinking my chaotic new second lead life, so I was dead to the world. No idea how much time passed before she woke me again. If we don't hurry, the other teams will take all the good ingredients. Forget it, go mooch off another group. She stormed off. I barely got a moment's peace before she was back. Up. I already made breakfast, you have to come eat every bite. Stubborn kid, I'll give her that. I dragged myself to the dining hall, phone in hand, and nearly went blind at the spread, a full East meets West breakfast buffet, easily the most impressive at James Reid and Zoe's table, hand-wrapped buns, fresh noodles, warm tarts, and a fruit platter arranged like a work of art. Every other parent had gone all out too. James, you're a guy, how do you know how to cook all this? Someone asked. He smiled faintly. Started young. Just habit by now. You must have woken up crazy early. Just a sandwich and a salad for me, took an hour. I barely made it out of bed by 6:30, and you were up at 4? I love kids. I want to give them the best of everything. This is all stuff Zoe likes, good for her growing body too. When I have my own kid someday, I'll do this every morning. I love James so much. Same, I'd kill for a husband like him, imagine being his kid, what a blessed life. Wouldn't waking up at dawn every day to cook be exhausting though? For someone you love, a little sleep sacrifice is nothing. So why don't you want to marry someone like him, instead of wanting to be his kid? I couldn't wake up that early every day for breakfast either, honestly. Standard marriage phobia, same. Why should sacrificing yourself be the definition of love? If that's what love has to look like, I'll stay single forever, thanks. Kara, meanwhile, had toasted some bread and warmed some milk. Ignoring the debate about early rising devotion, I sat down and powered through the "you must finish breakfast" mission she'd assigned me that morning. I suddenly realized this whole friend-style, low-effort approach to parenting was actually going over pretty well with the audience. This laid-back parenting style is honestly kind of winning me over, one comment read. I like how the two of them are together too, he shows up when it matters, they play together when it's playtime, relaxed and easygoing. It's nice. +1, because I'm exactly the same kind of parent. James Reid, still a little rattled from yesterday's speech, kept his distance from Kara all morning. He still encouraged Zoe to invite her to play and offered her breakfast, both politely declined. This week's show featured mostly wealthy families, so the producers kept the tasks light, eating, drinking, playing. This morning had nothing scheduled at all, giving the exhausted early rising parents a break. But the second breakfast wrapped, James Reed and the others were straight back in the kitchen prepping lunch. I went to catch up on sleep instead. Kara blocked my path. "Aren't we making lunch? Let me sleep an hour first. I swear on my ex-girlfriend's future marriage, I will be up in 1 hour making lunch." She frowned. "You had a girlfriend before my mom?" I didn't answer, just slipped past her and bolted for my room. "Kid, you got played. I'll bet 3 bags of spicy strips on it." That ex-girlfriend comment definitely meant Kara's mom. "You win." He said as much on a show once before. Only ever had one girlfriend, his actual first love, and she's the one he married. That's Kara's mom. Heh. Someone gets me. Lunch ended up being simple noodle soup, made by Kara herself, who dragged me out of bed after, I want to say, a dozen wake-up calls. Eating in front of her, I felt genuinely too embarrassed to meet her eyes, given I'd just been talking divorce the night before. "Why are you so lazy?" she asked. "If it were just me, no one to look after me, I'd probably starve to death alone at home," I said. "I promise I'm not always like this. Actually pretty driven, when I'm not slacking off." Which was true. For the past 6 months, I'd been the one getting up early every morning to make breakfast for the two of them. But right now I had no leg to stand on, so I kept my head down and ate my noodles in silence. This is too relatable. This kid is basically raising her useless dad. My heart hurts for her. Just got smacked by my dad and came back to catch the live stream, laughed so hard I almost cried. My dad saw me not taking it seriously and came at me with a feather duster, smacked me around again, cursing up a storm. I forgot to hang up the laundry he asked me to do because I was too busy watching a deadbeat get roasted online, had to rewash the whole load, it went sour. Someone bring this guy's dad here to watch the live stream too, teach him a thing or two about slacker-style parenting. Look how capable this kid turned out. I was fuming reading all that. Calling me lazy? I'd been plenty attentive taking care of Kara and her mother. If circumstances were different, I'd genuinely love to keep looking after both of them. But wanting things that aren't meant for you gets you nowhere. Forget it. The noodles, despite looking plain, were actually delicious. Kara had used broth another dad had made. Aurora Sinclair, I gathered, was strict with herself and with Kara both, not just academics, but hobbies too. Nothing was allowed to slide. Apparently by age 3, barely tall enough to reach the counter, Kara was already being sent into the kitchen to learn to cook. Eating that bowl of noodles, I had a fleeting thought, if I really did have a daughter like this, it wouldn't be so bad. The thought startled me the second it surfaced. I was supposed to be staying away from all of them. Couldn't let one breakfast and one lunch shake that resolve. Stay strong, William Kane, you've got this. That evening, the producers dropped the day's task on our phones, a trip to a local food street to try the local specialties. By the end of that task, James Reed's mildly cool attitude toward me had curdled into something closer to actual hostility. Somewhere in the middle of it, my once distant follower count, previously a fraction of his, quietly overtook him, and by the end of the day my numbers were more than double his. Genuinely baffling, given he was an A-list star whose fan count alone dwarfed mine several times over, and given how hard the show's producers had promoted his episode. Viewers had been camping in his stream since day one. By all logic, Kara and I shouldn't have come anywhere close to his numbers. And yet, somehow, we did. Racking my brain, I couldn't think of a single moment from our food street outing that should have gone viral. What I did remember, having mooched 2 meals off Kara already, I decided to treat her at the food street as payback, told her to order whatever she wanted, my treat. Once there, she got predictably indecisive over the menu, a problem I don't have, personally, since kids agonize over choices and adults just get everything. So we worked our way down the whole street, splitting everything 50-50 so we could try it all without either of us exploding. Genuinely just an ordinary little outing, a walk, some snacks, nothing more. And honestly, by that point I meant it, she really was just a friend to me now. I bought a grilled sausage, thoughtfully skewered off a small piece for myself, a little spicy, and handed her the rest. She grinned, patted my shoulder. "Good stuff, friend, my treat." I poured myself a taste, good, and, without really meaning to, drank the whole thing. Catching sight of her crestfallen little face afterward, I felt genuinely guilty and immediately bought her a fresh one. She said she couldn't finish it, poured me a splash, and I drank the rest of that too. Same with the next round of snacks, I only let myself have 1 bite of each after that, handing the rest over. I swear I wasn't hoarding food from a kid this time, mostly because 2 full drinks later, I was too stuffed to want anything else anyway. So no, we absolutely weren't running some sympathy bait routine using Kara to farm views. Still, our stream's comment section had definitely been livelier than usual that day. "Ha ha ha, I'm dying, William Kane might be the biggest food hoarder I've ever seen on TV, anything he actually likes, gone in seconds, and whatever's left goes straight to his daughter, LMAO 2 real. My boyfriend does the exact same dumb thing, worried about getting fat apparently, ha ha ha. A wave of good-natured teasing followed, and somehow, our viewer count kept climbing by the second, genuinely unbelievable growth. The next day, my live stream nearly got flagged and shut down entirely. Someone spammed my comments accusing me of buying fake followers. Before I could even react, though, everything went back to normal, and every trace of those accusations vanished without explanation. That evening, noise erupted from the room next door just as I was stepping out. Through the door I overheard the director tearing into James Reed, warning him to quit stirring up trouble or he'd torch not just the show but his entire career, all of it, gone. James Reed was pleading, swearing he'd never do it again, even begging the director to put in a word with someone important on his behalf, to forgive this one lapse in judgment. I was stunned. Just yesterday, the director had treated James Reed like royalty, now he was chewing him out. Impressive growth spurt. When the director stepped out and, a moment later, James Reed followed, he seemed like a changed man. The guy who'd wanted to murder me with his eyes the night before was suddenly all serenity and goodwill, his gaze so calm it looked almost enlightened, like he'd seen through the vanity of the world entirely. Honestly made me want to march up to the director and give him a thumbs up. I turned to Kara instead. Our director's kind of a legend, huh? That's not the director, that's basically me, she said. Fine, sure, the director's a legend if you say so. Glad you're pleased. Little troublemaker, treating me like a kid to be humored, how rude. The final day's task was a mountain hike, scenery gorgeous the whole way up. Kara and I took what felt like 100 photos together. Her photography noticeably improved over the course of the trip. I have full confidence that whenever she starts dating someday, her photo game will never embarrass her. At the summit came the finale, the tearjerker segment every family show apparently needs. The hotel garden up there had been dressed up like a wedding venue, dreamy and romantic, and, to really twist the knife, a screen off to the side displayed the live comment feed, so the director could get the audience crying right alongside the cast. Each family, we were told, would get a surprise guest for this last segment, a parent, a friend, whoever mattered. For me, that turned out to be Oliver, Aurora Sinclair's personal assistant, standing in as a friend for me and Kara. Aurora Sinclair and I were technically married, but honestly, I'd crossed paths with her assistant far more often than with her. I'd also been quietly using him. I needed her schedule so I could corner her and finally hash out the divorce, since she was always too busy to catch. It was our turn on the red carpet for the tearful speeches, and Oliver hadn't arrived yet, though he'd texted saying he was close. Kara and I started the segment as the sentimental background music kicked in, facing each other. I strained to force a few tears, barely managed to get my eyes a little red, while the chat, which had apparently been sniffling right along with every other family segment moments earlier, did a complete tonal 180 the second the camera landed on me. The scene's tragic, the music's tragic, why do I just want to laugh the second I see this guy's face? Ninja Turtle JPG, Ninja Turtle JPG, stop it, someone up there please hold it together, you're killing me, it's fine, I volunteer to laugh on everyone's behalf. I bit back a laugh so hard my lips were trembling, and rushed through my pre-planned speech. Kara. After the show wraps, will you still want me as your friend? Whether you want it or not, I've already decided you're my friend, she said. Oh, and, you promised me the most expensive thing at the food street last time. When's that happening? Give me an actual date. Next week? Next month? Her expression made it very clear what she thought of me ruining the mood. I felt a little wronged. I didn't do it on purpose, okay? Blame the comment section, they're the ones cracking jokes, I nearly ruptured something holding it in. Kara took a deep breath, face suddenly serious. Can you, not divorce my mom? That stopped me cold. Whatever chaos was still unfolding in the comments, I couldn't laugh anymore. Something about the way she said it actually stung. I want you to be my dad. I like you as my dad, I mean that. But if the only reason you're divorcing her is because of me, then I'll change. I won't say you're annoying anymore, I won't lose my temper with you, she said. It's not because of you, I said. You're a great kid, genuinely the best. Anyone lucky enough to be your parent would love you. Would be proud to. So, are you worried I'll be mean to you and mom's new baby someday? I can promise I won't. I'm not even her real daughter, you know, Kara said. He's only ever had your mom as a girlfriend. Only ever proposed to her. He's never had another kid. My real mom was actually her older sister, she's my aunt, not my birth mom. I froze. This story had so many threads I'd honestly forgotten some of the details, awakened or not. If Kara hadn't said it herself, I wouldn't have remembered that she was actually the daughter of Aurora Sinclair's late older sister, who'd passed away young, an unmarried mother, the father unknown. For the child's sake, Aurora Sinclair had legally adopted her as her own. None of that changed anything about me and Aurora Sinclair, though. She doesn't love me. I'm not going to force my way into a life where I'm not wanted. That wouldn't be fair to her either. You have a baby in future, I promise I'll never treat them badly. I'll help take care of them, love them properly. The divorce is between me and your mom. It's about the two of us, nobody else's business. But don't worry, divorced or not, I'll still make time to visit you, still hang out with you. I already told you, I want to be your friend for life. Kara's face fell. She looked down for a long moment before finally lifting her head again. Fine. I guess I was being selfish. My mom really is harsh with her husbands, and she's never around for us either, works like she's a machine. If you want the divorce, then go ahead. But if you never find someone else you like, wait for me. When I grow up, I'll marry you. Before I could respond, a deafening roar drowned out every sound on set. A helicopter. I actually got to witness a real-life billionaire making a grand entrance via private helicopter. The cameraman scrambled to get a shot of whoever was inside such a ridiculous arrival. Two women stepped out, Aurora Sinclair and Oliver, walking ahead. Aurora Sinclair looked like she'd come straight from a boardroom. Crisp white silk blouse, a tailored, waist-cinched suit, tall and striking, radiating pure confidence. The chat exploded the second she appeared. She's so handsome, oh my god, gorgeous woman, I've officially seen it all. Turns out when a woman's this stunning, men just become irrelevant. Screenshot everything, I need her whole profile. Kara and I were both still processing when Aurora Sinclair, normally buried in work every waking hour, strode toward us, impossible to mistake for anyone else even from a distance. If the helicopter noise hadn't been so deafening, neither of us would have believed our own eyes. Kara recovered faster than I did and ran ahead to meet her. Mom! William Kane, you jerk, is this divorce actually happening? Before Kara could get another word out, Aurora Sinclair's attention had already slid right past her. That's when we both noticed the phone in Aurora Sinclair's hand, playing, in real time, the very show we were currently filming. Meaning, she'd seen everything. My divorce announcement. Kara's little speech agreeing to it, and her promise about the new baby. Kara and I traded a look, each silently lighting a mental candle for the other. Aurora Sinclair, who supposedly only ever tracked financial news, never entertainment TV, apparently made an exception today. Kara rushed toward her again, face set with the resolve of someone charging into battle. Don't be mad at William. I ran over too, pulling Kara behind me. It's my decision to divorce her. This has nothing to do with Kara. The two of us can talk this out alone. Why do you think I married you in the first place? I froze. Genuinely, I had no idea. I only remembered chasing her for what felt like forever, scheming daily just to catch a glimpse of her, showing up with gifts, sending 520 red envelopes on every holiday she never once opened. A month ago, apparently, drunk out of my mind, I'd blocked her car, climbed in, and proposed to her on the spot. I vaguely recalled sobbing like an absolute mess, wailing about how much I loved her, soaking her collar in tears. I woke up already married, a small wedding banquet thrown that same day, and then she'd left on a business trip and never come back, until right now. You've always been so cold to me, I said, confused. So why'd you say yes? Because it was you. Why, though? Aurora Sinclair stepped closer, a faint orchid scent settling around me. What do you think? You think you could have gotten my WeChat, walked into my office to deliver food and gifts, blocked my car, climbed into it, and proposed, without my consent? It was the most she'd said to me in one breath since we'd met. She didn't have a tongue in her head? If she liked him that much, why didn't she just say so? What a waste. But she's rich, gorgeous, and successful. Who needs to talk? Aurora Sinclair took another step, nearly pressed against me now. I flinched back on instinct. So, going by what you're saying, you married me because you liked me? Then what about the male lead? What's James Reed's whole deal, then? Was it possible that all my suspicion, my jealousy over their relationship, had driven me to torch my own marriage over nothing? And her coldness toward me the whole time was real, that much wasn't in question. There were still those photos too, him getting into her car, the hug. Proof she wasn't as innocent as she claimed either. Okay. Deep breath. Recalibrate. Since I'm the one who wants out, he said, just consider it done, I don't love you anymore. Clean break, no hard feelings. I've actually already planned it all out. Marriage, wife, daughter, from now on I'm focused on work, making money. A wife and daughter would just slow that down. Aurora Sinclair's eyes stayed locked on mine, something unreadable flickering underneath before she reined it in. She'd always been good at controlling herself. So you want out? I respect that. But before we sign anything, I have one request. Go ahead. I know I haven't been a good enough wife, that's on me, and I understand if it's disappointed you. But I'm asking for one more year. I'll work on becoming someone worth staying married to. This past month, I cleared my entire schedule just so I could spend real time with you, take you on a proper honeymoon. If not a year, then give me a month. I'm not even asking for 6 months. Just 1 month. Give me 1 month. If you still want out after that, I'll sign whatever you want. 1 month feels like plenty already. Give me a month. I'll pay you 100 million for a month. Before I'd woken up, I'd insisted, practically begged our lawyers, on a prenup, wanting to prove I wasn't after her money. If we ever divorced, she wouldn't owe me a cent of her assets. So I genuinely had zero expectation of walking away with anything. Hearing 100 million now made my heart skip. Just 1 month, for 100 million? Kind of a bargain, if I'm honest. Who even cares about the plot at a number like that? Still, I hesitated a few seconds before Aurora Sinclair upped it again. 1 billion. Plus every personal share I hold in the company. Cash-wise, that's genuinely all the liquid capital I have right now. Everything else is tied up in projects. Think it over. Just 1 month. I'll have the lawyers draft the contract right now. And so, shamelessly, I said yes, because honestly, who could turn that down? Fine, I admit it, I'm shallow, a gold-digging pretty boy living off his wife's fortune. The second we got home, Aurora Sinclair wired the billion straight into my account and tried to transfer company shares too, which I waved off as too much hassle to bother signing for. A month later, several of her company's projects turned a profit, and she handed over another billion. Then another, and another, month after month, an unstoppable stream of money. Which is, in the end, why we never actually got divorced. One day, I laid the old photos of her and James Reed out in front of her. She looked at them completely unbothered. Turned out I was quite the skilled photo editor, something I'd apparently bragged about to Kara more than once. But even I couldn't see through these, until she told me, and under closer inspection, sure enough, they were fakes. And after that parenting show wrapped, James Reed's contract with the company got terminated, and he and Aurora Sinclair never crossed paths again. He'd been the story's actual male lead, but since I'd steered clear of the whole villain arc, self-destruct storyline, he apparently couldn't help himself either, tried to sabotage me by accusing me of buying fake followers, only for Aurora Sinclair to expose the whole scheme herself. He never did manage to outmaneuver me after that. The following year, I accidentally got Aurora pregnant. I'd wanted to wait a bit longer, honestly still half convinced she'd orchestrated the whole thing, though I had zero proof. When she found out, she gifted me a luxury yacht, so I decided not to make an issue of it. Besides, she promised, in front of a national television audience, to help raise the kid, so I willingly resumed my career as devoted simp to a girl boss CEO. I started helping manage her company, went back to handling all her meals, checking in on her constantly. And as promised, Aurora Sinclair grew warmer and kinder toward me by the day. I got comfortable enough that the whole divorce plan quietly slipped my mind entirely. The next year, baby sister Sophie was born, and every school break after that, our household looked something like this. Kara, your sister's hungry, go make a bottle. Kara, your sister's crying, go check on her. Kara, your sister needs a diaper change, and off she'd go, muttering the whole way. Again? Didn't she just go? Though the color's a little dark this time, think she's got a little heat rash? Should we add some honeysuckle extract to her formula? Ever since her sister arrived, our once ice-cold little princess had turned into a genuine baby-wrangling pro. And the biggest change of all, the same girl who used to be as aloof and imperious as her mother now never stopped talking. Ha, ha ha ha.